hard-fought win against a really, really, really good football team, and I can't say enough about our guys in terms of just, their belief in one another and their willingness to continue to work each and every day. And I feel like we are improving as a football team, and just really happy for our locker room. Those guys, like I said, they believe in one another. We had a lot of guys out today, and it was cool to see a lot of young guys get their first opportunity to go out there and play and make some big time contributions. I know Malik's been up for the last couple of weeks, but he made, do you have, 4 catches today? Made some big plays. It was cool to see Tucker Kraft got his first touchdown. Henry Pearson made his debut on his birthday, ironically enough. And then the guys in the back end continuing to play hard, and guys like CV and Corey Ballantyne and J.O. having a big touchdown. But I think the game was won up front today on both sides of the ball. I thought anytime you drop back against Detroit or throw 30-plus passes and you come out away with 0 sacks, and then conversely, just what we were doing up front on the other side of the ball, that was really the difference. RG had a big day. That was huge for him to come back to the place where obviously last year it was a pretty emotional experience. And then he experienced a different kind of emotion today to have 3 sacks, and just really, really happy for him and our whole locker room.
You guys want to set the tone every game, but what went into the decision to receive and then take that shot on the first play?
Well, I think anytime you're going against a really explosive offense, it was one of those deals. Matter of fact, I almost changed that first play call. I was kind of mulling it over quite a bit, and I texted Jordan this morning and told him I was going to change it to something else, and he said he wanted this call. So I said, okay. Wasn't quite sure where the ball was going to go. I had a good idea. It might go to Christian, or I thought maybe Rome. Just with the action that we have, I was kind of concerned that we didn't have the checkdowns that we might need. But our protection was phenomenal, because it was kind of a later developing play to throw a post. And I told Christian right before the game, I said, hey, there's a good chance this play is going to go to you. Just go up and attack the football. And he did exactly that. So he had a big-time game today. That was good to see for him. I think I know he's, hasn't been flawless up to this point, but I thought he came up big today and made a lot of critical catches.
Think of where Love's command and his play speed is compared to even, 5 or 6 weeks ago.
I think it's night and day. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel. I have to go back and look at it, but certainly it certainly appears that way. And it's given us a lot of confidence to be a little bit more aggressive with some of the calls. And just when you're trusting your offensive line, when you're trusting your quarterback to facilitate and get the ball where it needs to go and throw on rhythm, that allows you to do that. And we had a lot of, I would say, deeper developing plays, and hit a lot of intermediate throws for some chunk plays that ended up being big for us.
A month ago, the gap between these 2 teams how'd you close that gap in 2 months?
Wow, I mean, it's one game, right? So it's just, you got to take that into consideration. I think this is the National Football League, and anybody can beat anybody, and that's just the way it is. And but I'll just talk about our team in terms of just the resiliency we've shown, because there's been some rough moments, obviously. And anytime you go on the road in this league and you find a way to win a football game against a really quality opponent, that's a pretty good feeling.
I know you're trying to win every game, but you're also trying to build something. What could a win like this do? I mean, it is super loud. You got a bunch of guys out, and all, you know all the obstacles.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just the nature of our game, and quite frankly, nobody cares whether or not who's up. The standards, expectations. I've said it a million times. I know you guys think that's a lot of coach speak, but that's reality. That's the world we live in. Everybody expects you to win, and there's no excuses for when you don't. And you know, all you can ask of anybody is to go out there and give their best effort, to prepare the right way, to give their best effort, to be dialed in each and every play. And I felt like our guys did that today.
You were coming off the field at halftime.
It might have been illegal contact on the security guard right there, but yeah, it's not a big deal. It is what it is. I was running, and I had my pass set, and he was in my way, and I was not going to meet. I was going that way.
Block, not a charge. Block, not a charge.
I guess.
On the touchdown, Tucker, before that, you were yelling at the ref. I assume she thought AK had the first down, right? I mean, I was interested because you're yelling at the ref when you call on obviously a touchdown play. It's kind of interesting.
So that was interesting dynamic. So I was told that we got the first down, and obviously they said they marked him short. I called a play for a first down call, but I also, once I called that play, I was confident with it as a third down call as well. So it was one of those deals where if I didn't like the play call, you would have to use a timeout in that situation. But I felt comfortable with the call, and you know, those guys, they made it work.
The defense has struggled over the past couple of weeks, specifically the secondary. Was it an intention to come in and be aggressive on the side of the play?
Well, I think they do a really good job of loading the box and stopping the run. I mean, that's what they want to be about. And so we knew that we're going to have to try to open up the run through the pass. And they're a very aggressive unit. I think that they're very well coached, very sound, and they play with a reckless abandon, like in a good way. I've got a lot of respect for Aaron Glenn, obviously Dan Campbell, and what they've been able to establish here. And I think those guys play the right way, and it's a challenge to go against this defense. And we felt like we needed to use the pass a little bit to maybe soften them up to be able to get some rushing yards, because I want to say, just looking at it throughout the course of the season, there was 4 explosive runs on tape. So it's hard to run the ball on this defense.
On 4th and 1, is there something about the push play you don't like, or what you not call it or call the handoff?
We felt comfortable with the other one. Obviously, it didn't work, and now I got to answer your question, Pete.
What happened on the handoff there?
Miscommunication. Somebody was wrong. I'm not going to tell you who it was, though.
What about 4th down defensively, and particularly on the fake punt that you guys were not fooled by?
Yeah. We just know how aggressive they are, and we were kind of alerting for that. And great job by Rich, and Connor Lewis up in the box was calling for it, and Rich Bisaccia obviously was well prepared and prepared our guys for it, and that obviously was a very, very critical play in the game. And it was the epitome of, we talk about complementary football. We do a good job of getting a stop defensively. Then special teams comes through and makes a big time play, and that translated into a touchdown. So obviously just a very important sequence in the game.
Along those lines, on the long field goal, it looked like you guys had that covered really well. You guys tried to bring it out. Do you actually practice that, or, I mean, obviously you must have had some kind of alert because it looked like it would.
Absolutely. That's something that you got to be prepared for. Obviously, I think it was Cleef back there, Cleef Raymond, and he's a hell of a player. I got another guy I got a ton of respect for. I spent some time with him in Tennessee, and really happy to see just his growth as a player and what he's been able to accomplish, and even more happy that we got him on the grass somehow.
Did you think about doing the free kick after the fair catch?
No.
The way Jordan played.
We had 5 seconds left. We thought we could run a quick play. We still had our timeout, and so we had a play dialed up, either to go to the sideline. We had a pretty good idea what maybe they might be in, and just the guys did a good job of executing. Jordan got the ball out in a timely fashion. Jaden Reed got what he needed to get to, and got down, and we popped the timeout with 1 second left. So it was just great communication. It starts upstairs and down to me, and then those guys went down there and executed.
The way Jordan played today and has been playing, is that the vision this organization has had, that you build and build and build to where he's been in here of late.
Yeah, I think he's done a tremendous job, and he can't do it alone. I think a lot of guys made plays for him. Christian Watson, Malik Heath, Rome, Jaden Reed, all those guys did a really nice job, stepping up and making some big-time plays. The tight ends, A.J. Dillon on some of those checkdowns. But I think the story was the offensive line, just to provide the protection for him. They kind of got after us the first time we played them. That's a really good front, obviously led by Hutchinson, but then you got McNeil and a bunch of other guys in there that are really good football players, and they do a good job of stretching in different ways, bringing timely pressures, whether it's a nickel or free safety, and so it's a really good defense with good players, and that presents a lot of challenges for an offense.
After that missed tackle Owens had last week, what do you think before watching the tape of what he gave you on the back end today?
I thought he did a really good job. I got to go back and watch it all, but just proud of him. And that's where you have to be. You have to be resilient. You got to understand that you're only as good as your last game. Everybody's going to make mistakes. It's how do you learn from them? How do you grow?
Now, you just mentioned a little bit, how much complimentary football did you see from your guys on the field today?
It felt like it throughout the course of the game. I know our guys were juiced up and ready to play, and they've been supporting one another throughout all the ups and the downs. But hopefully we're starting to catch our stride a little bit, and I do think this win goes a long way in terms of building confidence. And we're going to have a great challenge in front of us when you got a team with the caliber of Kansas City coming into our place next Sunday night in Lambeau.
You've talked a lot about how just poised Jordan is at the time. How much did he show that out there today?
Yeah, I thought he was awesome the entire game. Just he is a cool customer, and you can have really good conversations with him. And I just never see him get too high or too low, and whether it's going good or not so good. So he's just a guy he's really matured a lot over these last 4 years, and it's hard not to root for him. He's such a good person, first and foremost. I think the guys in the locker room, they love him. I can tell you all the coaches love him. Just his approach, he's consistent in terms of who he is on a daily basis. And he's one of the guys, and I think that's always important from that position.